Settle down, take your peace with the ground. Follow that.
But when we came here, well, that was a group of us came here. A bunch of hippies came here as looking for an alternative lifestyle, and I was one of those. And we wanted to have a birthday. A couple of us had a birthday, and we sort of thought, what about that hall? We can invite all our friends along. So I found a farmer who had the key, and I said, oh, well, I'll bring it back. And she said, no, don't bother, you hang on to it, we haven't been using it. We only use it once a year for a bit of a barn dance. That's all they used it for, once a year. Yeah, so we sort of took it over. We have been running it ever since. That was about 1970. It looks as if it's in the middle of nowhere, but there are, there are more and more people moving into these nowhere places, yeah, and building houses and so on. Yeah, so we are getting crowded around, because when we started, there was no houses here at all. The nearest one was about 150 meters away, and it was just the school, the hall, and the pub. That was Barrytown. The artists, they seem to like to come here because it's a small hall, relatively small hall. They get possibly more contact with local people than they would in the city. But the idealism of leaving the city and being self-sufficient in the country, it was very strong then, and it happened. And you still see elements of it, of people trying to do it. I did work for a while in mines, in the coal mine here, but it's very dangerous. The guy I worked with, he was crushed, dead. So it's quite freaky. And when the sort of back to the land movement happened, the government responded with ohus, wasn't it? Ohus. These were communes to be set up and the government would provide land for them. And so that happened in the late 70s. No, sorry, late 60s and early 70s, yeah, that's when it happened. And so those guys from Wellington formed a group, and they came down here looking for land. They stayed with me, and I showed them around, and they found the land at Fox River and bought it. And they called it Katagita, which it was a book I had, a picture book of Australia, and there was the Olgas, these little mountains, and they looked like heads. And they said, right, Katagita, place of many heads. That's us, yeah. So they called it Katagita, the place of many heads. It's dope smokers' heads. And so they were successful. I got a call from somebody in Auckland, and it turns out that he had a band, quite a famous band, and this band had come from England, and they were looking at the program, and Auckland, Christchurch, Dunedin, etc. And they said, but where's Barrytown? And he said, no, what's Barrytown? Oh, we've got to play in Barrytown. Why isn't Barrytown on the list? And he said, I don't know where Barrytown is. What are you talking about? Oh, no. We were told if we go to New Zealand, we had to play at Barrytown. Yeah, a number of people in London told us that. So we've got to play Barrytown. So he was asking, so he said, so tell me, where's Barrytown? And I said, and told him where it was on the west coast of the South Island. He said, oh no, God, how the hell come? Well, I said, well, you could possibly put them on the dates between Christchurch and Dunedin, and that's what actually eventually happened. He managed to put them on between those dates. So that's an interesting aspect of how famous we've become, or infamous, yeah.